Welcome to Living the Empowered Life podcast. I'm Tamiko Pugh, also known as the Empowering Diva. Each week, you'll hear inspirational interviews as well as actionable tips and strategies that you can implement into your daily life to help you live a life of passion, purpose, and potential. Thanks for spending time with me today. Now let's jump into today's episode of Living the Empowered Life. Hey there to all my friends in the Living the Empowered Life community. Listen, what better way to celebrate love than by loving yourself and grabbing a copy of my book, 21 Days of Self-Love, a guide to loving yourself unapologetically. This book serves as a self-love guide to loving yourself from the inside out by providing you with self-love tips, affirmations, and mantras to be used during your 21 days of self-love. Grab a copy of the book in the empowerment store at tamikolori.com. Take some time to do something loving for you. You deserve it. Welcome to today's episode of Living the Empowered Life. I'm your host, Tamiko Pugh, affectionately called by many the Empowering Diva. In today's episode, I'll be chatting with best-selling author, speaker, and certified love transformer, Shay Levister. Shay is a Master Certified Dating and Relationship Coach, Master Certified NLP Practitioner, and Certified Rapid Transformation Therapy Practitioner. She is also trained in hypnotherapy and created the Positive Mind Meditation Technique as well as the Cup of Love affirmation app. What I love most about Shay is that she is on a mission to help 1 million women manifest love by the year 2030 through her innovative Diva Love Method to dating without uncertainty or disappointment. So let's go ahead and dive into our powerful conversation with Shay Levister, also known as Shay, Your Love Diva. Shay, welcome to the Living the Empowered Life podcast.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so glad to be here.
Thank you for being here. I'm so excited to have you. So how are you?
I'm doing fabulous. This is just a great opportunity for everybody, right?
It absolutely is. And you know what's really funny is I was reading your bio and going through everything, and I was like, oh yeah, she is Shay, the Love Diva, and I am Tamiko, the Empowering Diva. So how awesome is that? You got two divas on the line. One
I know.
Is going to empower you, and the other one is going to give you a little bit of love. So that's what I love about that.
Right. I love that, right? The divas combine.
Absolutely. So how did you, and I get this question all the time, how did I come up with the Empowering Diva? So how did you come up with Shay, Your Love Diva?
Well, when I was struggling in this dating game, I asked myself one day, who is it, the type of woman that I can think of that embodied who I would need to become in order to attract my soulmate? And so there were 3 women that came to mind. And Felicia Rashad, we all remember her as Claire Huxtable, and she was just powerful and dynamic, but beautiful and a great wife. And then also Angela Bassett came to mind. I love her strength, and she has a lot of strength, but she still has a lot of femininity. And then Jada Pinkett. And so these 3 women came to mind, and I started to write down, what about myself did I need to enhance or improve in order to represent the characteristics of these 3 beautiful women that made them so irresistible, just not only by men, but in period in life. And so that's when I came up with the acronym DIVA, which stands for Divine, Intelligent, Vivacious, and Alluring, because these are all of the qualities that a woman needs to embrace in order to become an irresistible man magnet. Being able to stand in your divinity and the fact that you are a spiritual being, having a human experience, and that there's no lack of anything, that you don't have to earn love. You came into this world worthy of love. And then also intelligence, like being able to embrace being a smart woman, being a strong woman, being a powerful woman who has been able to accomplish great things in life and not feeling like it's a hindrance to being able to attract a good man. Because I can't tell you how many times I hear from women that, oh, men don't like strong women, or they don't like a woman who makes more money than them. And that couldn't be furthest from the truth. They just don't like women who act like they don't need a man. But you can be a strong, powerful, dynamic woman who can still embrace a man and all of the strengths that he's bringing to the table while still standing in her power. And then there's being vivacious. Like nobody wants a wet noodle. I'll say wet noodle around them who's like boring and, you know, they're never fun. They never want to do anything. They don't smile. They have that resting bee face all the time. And so being able to be the kind of woman who is happy, outgoing, loves life, is fun to be around, that is just so attractive to men and people in general. And then being alluring. And alluring goes beyond just being sexy or being the kind of woman that shows too much or does too much for the gram or for male attention. But being the kind of woman, like when you think of Felicia Rashad or Angela Bassett or even Jada, who they just are, you know, they stand in their power, they have that confidence. And because of that, it just draws to them the right type of people in their world who can embrace that power.
It really does. And I love all three of them. And each and every one of them, they exude the confidence and they're very powerful and they stand in their power and their men back them up.
Right.
Right. So that's the thing that I love about that. Yes. Right. And I love how you broke down the word diva, because sometimes people misconstrue the word diva for like the B word. Oh, she's a diva. But no, that's not really what it really means. So I love the way that you broke it down for yourself. I think that's
right.
Really helpful. Yeah.
Right. And even there's power in the word diva, right? It's like, it's, you know, I see so often advice from male quote unquote gurus who tell a woman that she needs to jump through all these hoops and what's wrong with her. And that, you know, no man wants a quote unquote diva. But really, it's the women who are divas that they embrace like their femininity, because diva is also a feminine word. And then they also embrace their power. They don't take any stuff. They love who they are. They have that confidence. And so because that can't be rocked, it's almost like a lot of, I've seen the male energy try to knock that down so that women can start to appease and accommodate them. But by you and I embracing that word, it tells women, no, like embrace that, because really that's how you live your best life and attract the right people who can help you to do that as well.
It really does. And for me, the diva is she's divine in virtue and she's anointed. So very similar.
Right.
But it definitely brings the biblical and the spiritual aspect to it as well. And the interesting thing is, you know, when you hear women say that, or men say they don't like strong women, or, you know, she's too powerful. I don't believe that, because one of the things, and I'm agreeing with you, one of the things that my husband told me, he's like, when I met you, you were just like so outgoing. You were so powerful and you were walking in your purpose and you were doing this and doing that. And I was attracted to that. And so it's okay to be powerful. It's okay to be who you were created to be.
So true.
Yes, absolutely. So, hey, Diva.
Hey, Diva.
So, and then the other thing, as I was going through your bio, it talks about you being a love transformer. You're a love transformer. I love that word, love transformer. And then you're a certified dating relationship coach. So tell us a little bit about what that entails.
So basically, I help celebrities and professional women who are plagued with chronic single-itis and dating in the dark to manifest love on command, with my proven Diva Love Method to dating without uncertainty and disappointment. So what does all that mean? So if you have somebody who wants to, for instance, lose weight, right? And they've tried everything that they could in order to lose weight, but they're tired of failing. The books didn't work. The videos that they watched didn't work. All of the different fad diets didn't work. And so now they're serious and they hire somebody to accomplish their goal. And so this person comes along and they assess what is blocking this person from being able to lose weight. They create a blueprint to help them to be able to accomplish their goal of losing weight. And then they work with them regularly and hold them accountable to follow the roadmap and the plan in order for them to get results. And at the end of that, they get results. And so it's the same thing with what I do as a certified love transformer. I literally walk the client from point A, being frustrated with the dating process, tired of failing, tired of not getting the results that they want in their love life, and not wanting to waste any more time, but to have the proven guidance to accomplish their goal. I lay out the blueprint. I hold them accountable. I guide them along the way, keeping them from falling into the pitfalls that I endured and so many other people have endured, and that most women who are dating are encountering on a regular basis. And by doing that, it helps to fast track them to not just attract a man, because, that's easy. Attracting a man is easy. But what are you attracting? Being able to attract a high quality man who is your soulmate, who is the person that has been created for you to walk this life with. Like, that's what's most important. And that's the results that I'm able to help my clients to get. And I was able to do this by studying on myself. I found myself, and, I'm sure we'll talk about it later on, what my personal experience is. But based on my research of going on the experiment of going on over 100 dates in 3 months, no kissing or sex, because some people get that confused. I have to say that, It's like, oh my God, 100 dates. Like, what was she doing? Like, you're not, it's an interview process. You're not supposed to be having sex while you're interviewing people. But so I also interviewed thousands of men, women, and couples, read hundreds of relationship books and human behavior books so that I can uncover what it is that motivated people in love. What determined them attracting certain people, what determined when a guy picked one woman over another, and what were the things women naturally did that stood in their way. And so that's when I got certified as a master neuro-linguistic programming practitioner, and then got certified as a rapid transformation therapy practitioner, got trained in hypnotherapy, and then also got my certification as not just a life coach, but as a certified master dating and relationship coach.
I love it. She's cute, smart, and powerful.
So are you,
she's
darling?
A catch and she's married, y'all.
I know, right? I'm happily married.
Happily married. I mean, that's awesome. You're awesome. And I know that a lot of times the work that we do, it typically has something to do with maybe something we've experienced. Something we've experienced in the past oftentimes leads us to our purpose or the work that we do today. And I know for myself, past experiences, bad, toxic relationships led me to do the work that I do today and to help women live that empowered life. Because I remember when I didn't have the confidence and I was not sure who I was or what my life purpose was. And it allowed me to go through those toxic, unhealthy relationships. And so that led to living the empowered life. So what is it about your life experience, or how has your life experiences prepared you for the work that you're doing today?
It's funny because I did not set out in life that I was going to become the world's one and only certified love transformer. Like, when I started, I thought I was going to be a pediatric cardiologist, right? But life kind of brought me here, and it started with my childhood, because all around me, I witnessed dysfunctional relationships. I would literally witness my father beat my mother on a regular basis, sometimes even spanking her with a belt as if she was a child. And this created a pattern in me where I started to subconsciously believe that love hurt and that you had to earn love from a man in order to be worthy. And you had to prove why you were worthy to be loved. And so this left me attracting a very abusive relationship right out of college, and then being left by him with a 5-week-old baby. And he took everything. So the bed, everything. And I remember holding my daughter on the hand-me-down couch that we had, and that was the only thing we had to sleep on. And as I looked at her, I just promised her that mom is going to take care of you, and I'm going to make you 3 promises. The first one was that I was going to break the cycle of dysfunctional relationships, because my mother, she was in an abusive relationship. My grandmother was in an abusive relationship. Her mother was in an abusive relationship. So it was like down the line and really on both sides of my family. And so I promised my daughter I was going to break that pattern. The second thing is I promised that she was going to witness mommy be loved, that mommy was going to attract her soulmate so that my daughter knew what it looked like, so that she knew what to attract for herself. And then last, I promised her a backyard, that I was going to get on her feet and then buy her a house so that she can run around and play in the backyard. And fortunately, I've been able to do all of that, being able to manifest the love of my life. But how did I do that? I started on the journey of trying to figure out what was it that I did wrong, because I was attracting literally like the worst guys. The experiences that you only see in the movie were happening to me. Like I would attract liars, cheaters. I ended up marrying a married man. Like, how do you do that?
Wow.
How do you meet somebody who says that they're single and they're divorced, and then to find out after you married them that they're still legally married? Well, that happened to me. And so I had to figure out what was going on with me, like what needed healing in me in order for me to fulfill the promises to my daughter. So I started the dating experiment where I went on over 100 dates, and I started doing research because I have a pre-med biology background. I was going to go to med school. Like I said, I wanted to be a doctor, and I just needed to understand the science behind this. And so that's when I was able to start to discover a pattern. I discovered there was a pattern in women who could literally command the hearts of any man at any time. And I started doing YouTube videos, and I started documenting my experience, because I know this sounds morbid, but just in case something happened to me during my journey, my daughter would be able to look at the videos and be inspired and, learn through my experience. What happened is that I started having people follow me and start asking me for advice, because I would master the system so well that on day one, I would say, okay, I'm coming live. I'm doing a video. I met this great guy, and I'm going to capture his heart in 30 days with my technique. And then sure enough, 30 days later, I would have the guy sit in front of the camera, and he would tell the audience oh my God, she's amazing. This is what I really love about her. And, I want to marry her and all this other stuff. And people were amazed. So then they started asking me for advice. And it was real situations oh my God, my boyfriend cheated on me, but I love him and I want it to work because we have kids together. Or my husband just beat me and, I want to leave, but I don't have any income and I don't know what to do. And so I started answering real questions, because I couldn't just turn my back on people who were asking me for the information that I was able to discover. And then that's when it started unfolding, this calling started to unfold based on just doing the journey on myself, and then people coming to me and asking for advice from witnessing my journey on YouTube.
Wow. That is so powerful. Thank you for your transparency. I think it's in our transparency, in us sharing our stories and sharing our past and sharing our pain, that we're able to help other people. And so you literally just brought hope and healing to so many people just by sharing and being open with that. We have so much in common. I mean, just like you, I was attracting the wrong types of men. And it was same man, different face. Right. So attracting the same person over and over again. And it wasn't until I wrote my first book, Wounds to Wisdom, I had to go all the way back to figure out where those wounds came from. And as I was going back, I realized that my mom was in an abusive relationship, several abusive relationships. My grandmother was in an abusive relationship, my great grandmother. So just like you,
wow. Yes.
I had that, what I call that lifetime movie experience, dating all these weirdos. And it's people are are you serious? I'm no, it's serious. But Shay, you got me beat with you married a married man. That one was
okay.
That one. So you got me beat with that.
And he was abusive. So I'm oh my God, how do you marry a married man and be abused at the same time?
Yes. And I call those lifetime movie experiences. That can definitely be a lifetime movie. So
Definitely.
Let me know when it hits, when it hits Lifetime. For real.
I'm sure it will one day, but it did hit a book called The Science of Attracting Love. And I think that the blessing in my story, you know, I appreciate you for thanking me for my transparency, but there's been healing in me telling my story for not only myself, but for other people. Mm-hmm. There's so many people that they deal with the shame, right, of the mistakes that they make with their relationship choices. And that shame lowers their vibration and causes them to continue the same pattern of attracting dysfunctional relationships. But when I'm able to say, well, look, there's nothing you did that was worse than what I did, and I was still able to overcome that and heal, and you can too, then that empowers them to embrace their story, learn from it, and move on.
I love that. And one of the other things that you mentioned was doing the work. I meet a lot of people that always ask me, how did you get into the work you do today? Like, I want to be you. I want to do that. And I'm like, you have to do the work. Like, I don't know if you really want this job. Do you really want to go through an abusive relationship with somebody beating you until you're unconscious? Do you really want to get strangled and
right?
Oh my God, I'm about to die. Right. I don't think so. So, and then outside of that, it's just about you have to do the work. You don't just wake up one day healed and say, oh, I'm going to be a love transformer, or I'm going to be the empowering diva. Like, if you don't wake up and it just happens, there's so much work that has to take place. And what I really want people to know is that they have to do the work. And you mentioned that, and that's something that really resonated, because I meet a lot of people who don't really want to take the time out and do the work and work on their inner healing. So yes, like, we have so much in common.
I know, like, I love it. And then even when because I see like all the great work that you do and the type of woman that you are and the difference that you're making in the community. And it's amazing because like you embrace the kind of woman that I say has that wife energy. Even before you became a wife, because, I met you before y'all got married. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, they're going to get married. She totally has wife energy. And it's teaching women how to have that level of confidence, that level of assurance. And then, hopefully later on I can talk about is that level of certainty, which transforms into that it factor that makes people irresistible. And you have it. It's like, all around you that people can recognize. And it makes a big difference in inspiring that to show up in other women as well. So kudos to you.
Ooh, thank you. She said, I have the it factor. Hey. Yeah, the it factor, girl. You know what, Shay? I met you back when Kenny was doing the chat cafe at Love 860. I don't even know if you remember this. This was my first time meeting you. And I used to, I wasn't like one of the co-hosts. I was like the entertainment reporter or whatever job he gave me at that time. And I remember you came and you had just released your first book. And I have been a fan ever since that day. I was like, oh, she's awesome. I'm like, she is dope. Like, you came in there with your flower in your hair and you just broke everything down. You totally broke it down. And I had been a fan ever since then. I think that was like 2012.
Right. So it's been a long journey.
Mm-hmm. And then I followed you on social media and all that good stuff. And then I realized we both knew there's someone else, another friend that we have in common, Akima Day. I've been knowing her for some years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then you got engaged. Like, we all got engaged the same year, like a whole group of us.
Right.
Around the same time in 2014.
Right.
So it all happened at the same time. It's like all of the people who were doing the relationship advice and relationship coaching all got married that same year. So I thought that was pretty awesome too.
Wasn't it? Because it was you and Kenny, and then it was Jack Daniels. Mm-hmm. And then when Rashawn, and when they got married, it was like everybody was just getting married. It was like the year for us to manifest our own blessings from the gift that we were inspiring and giving to others. It was, through our message. We
had Mecca and Dr. Tart, so that whole group.
Mm-hmm. So, that was so awesome.
So what I really love, though, you don't do stuff small. Like, if you're going to do it, you're doing it big. You're on a mission to help 1 million women, not 1,000, not 100, not just 10. She's on a mission to help 1 million women manifest love by 2030. And she's doing that through her innovative Diva Love Method. So I really want to know what this Diva Love Method is. And I'm sure there are so many other women who want to know what it is as well.
Oh my God. So let me explain it like this. We watch so many women crash and burn when it comes to relationships. And now that the dating game has changed so much, women feel like this need to have to cater to men in order to pursue men. And then they do way too much when it comes to dating. So this has led to the quality of relationships going downhill, and dating as we know it is completely broken. And so this has left so many women who are happy and successful in their professional life, but they're lonely as heck in their personal life. Mm-hmm. And so I believe that every woman was created to be loved by a wonderful man who actually sees her, sews into her, and uplifts her. And so if you think of a woman as a flower, she's the receiver. We're the receiving energy. And then the man being the water that actually waters the flower. And if women change their mindset to that, then that will empower them in order to embrace their position when it comes to dating, because all of this is biology. So let me break it down, and then I will talk a little more about specifically the Diva Love Method. So when a man finds a woman attractive, right? And this is like, there's a process to the whole relationship phases. And when a man finds a woman attractive, it is his testosterone that drives him to chase her because he wants sex, period. That's what keeps mankind continuing to go. And so how soon a woman gives it up to a man determines, in most cases, most normal cases, because, you'll always have somebody say my cousin's, auntie's, uncle's, sister's brother was able to have sex on the first night and then they got married and they're married 40 years later, right? But that's an exception, people. That's not the rule. And so in most normal cases, how much he falls for you before having sex means everything in solidifying his position or your position in his heart. And so I'm not going to go in detail about the 6 phases of relationship unless you ask me to, but I will say that the short version is that as a man is pursuing the woman, he starts to get to know and like her. And as he does that, she moves from the object part of his brain, because when he sees you and he's first attracted to you, the part of his brain science has determined that lights up is the part of the brain that sees an object. So you're a thing to him because he wants to have sex. Mm-hmm. But the more he's chasing and pursuing you, his serotonin drops, which means just like OCD patients, they have to obsess and think about things all the time. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing here. He's thinking about you all the time. He wants to see you. He wants to be around you. And then his testosterone starts to drop as well. So his primary focus becomes nurturing, not just for sex, but because he's seeing you as a person. And then science has shown that the part of his brain that sees a person that they like starts to light up during this process. Now, a man's going to go through the phase of pulling away because men don't have that connective tissue connecting both hemispheres of their brain like a woman does. So we can multitask, but for a man, for the most part, they don't. They have to pull away, see how they feel. And then when they come back, they want you even more. If a man is pulling away, the best thing you can do is let them pull away and not chase them. That's why you should be dating at least 3 people at a time. So you're occupying your time and you're running your interviews. You're making sure you're choosing the best option for you. But when he comes back and he's showing you like you're the one I want to be with, and he is earning your mind, your heart, and your body, and he's willing to commit to you, then maybe, because, I believe you should wait to marriage, but not everybody's doing that. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to have sex, definitely wait until there's a commitment and wait until he has earned you all the way in the word that he could have earned you, earned your trust, earned your mind, earned your body. But a lot of women make this mistake. So what I do is I combine the science of attraction to teaching women how to make sure that they don't put themselves in a disadvantaged position when it comes to love. And I combine this with the law of attraction, boldly declaring and unapologetically declaring to the universe that I want love. And this is the kind of love that I want to experience, and being willing to take the steps to receive what you're asking for. And then combining the science of attraction with the law of attraction with the art of conscious dating. There's the difference between dating and there's a difference between conscious dating, because conscious dating removes the goal-based approach to dating and puts the fun, the exploratory, and the growth elements back into dating. So instead of just going on a date like, oh my God, is he the one? Is he the one? You're now like, what am I discovering about myself? Mm-hmm. Do I even like this guy? Like, is he even worthy to even be in my space right now? And it helps you to say, you know what? I realize I want a guy like this, or I don't want this element in my future husband. And so when you combine all that together, I created a 5-step surefire system, which is called the Diva Love Method, to helping women to manifest the love that they want. And so the short version is that it helps you to heal what's keeping you from attracting love. That's the first step. Second, you become what you want to attract. You become the kind of woman that you need to be so that your soulmate can actually recognize you when he shows up. And then the third step is manifesting, being able to operate and utilize the law in the step-by-step process for manifesting the love that you want. And then the fourth step is dating, the conscious dating and the steps that you take to dating to put yourself in a lane where there is no competition. And last, but certainly not least, there is learning how to master not just having a relationship, but maintaining a healthy relationship that uplifts you and fulfills you. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about ending loneliness and finding love. It's about who you become in the process and creating the greatest, best life that you can possibly create.
Wow. That's the Diva Love Method. I love it. And the interesting thing is you're going through these steps. You're telling us what the Diva Love Method is, and, the conscious dating and the healing and all of these things. And subconsciously, I don't think I knew this, but I think I manifested my husband using the Diva Love Method before I knew it was a method.
I love it.
No, honestly, but I love this because I think, so Kenny and I, and a lot of people already know this, we practiced celibacy until we got married. Most people know that, followed him. People who are new to just following us, they don't know that, but we did. And it was the most amazing experience to fall in love with a person, to really be emotionally connected to someone that you had never really been intimate with, at least not that form of intimacy. You know what I mean? And so our dates were very strategic. We would have coffee dates where we would just literally sit for hours at Starbucks talking. So by the time we went to premarital counseling, we had already covered every topic that they went over, because we got to know each other in a very deep, intimate way. And I love the Diva date method. No, the Diva Love Method. I'm sorry.
Yes, you're fine.
I got it right. The Diva Love Method. I love the concept. And so I'm rooting for you. Let's get these 1 million women to manifest their love. We got 10 years to do that. So
we have 10 years, honey.
Yes, I'm rooting for you. And I see the Diva Love Method tour happening. You're going to hit some cities. I don't know. I'm just saying this because this is what I see that happening.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. Please speak it. Speak it, honey.
Yes. That's how you got to reach them. You got to reach them. And so I definitely can see you doing a tour, going to different cities, reaching all of these women who need to know about the Diva Love Method.
Right. I need to tell my publicist to put that on our list of goals in the horizon.
Yes. And they could be like the Diva Love Method luncheon or anything, just something to bring the women together to learn about what you're doing. So I think that's awesome. Thank you. Shay, this was a great interview. You shared some great information. What I want to do now is do you have any upcoming events? And the one thing I do know that you have coming up is your Manifest Love VIP Circle registration. So that's going to open up on the 1st. And then your How to Attract Love online during the quarantine webinar. Oh my God, that's going to be that is such a necessity. So let's talk about those two things. So April 1st, Manifest Love VIP Circle registration. What's that all about?
Okay, so like the Manifest Love VIP Circle is the circle that I've created of women who are serious about manifesting love, and they're willing to be held accountable in order to accomplish that goal. So I'm very selective. I only allow certain people in the group, and the registration opens. I started the wait list, and we will be calling people. I will actually be speaking to them directly and even giving them a free coaching session and seeing where they are and if they really are ready to start the process, because this is a 12-week process where I take them from A to Z to being able to manifest the man of their dreams. And, because of the women in the group are so elite and they're so serious about manifesting love, we only want the highest vibrational people that's going to be in this group. So that opens up on April the 1st. And then we have my webinar that's coming up, because I'm going to be teaching classes that can help women get closer to the goal of manifesting love and understanding the dating process, and kind of giving them, a bit of advice that kind of will turn this tide back to fixing the dating game, sort of say. So on April the 6th at 6:30, I have a webinar where I'm talking about COVID-19 dating, how to attract love online during the coronavirus quarantine. And that's going to basically walk you through how to set up your online profile on online dating sites, or where do you go in certain sites where there's like actual single parties online happening, or where people are meeting each other and meeting quality people, that they can start to move through the dating process naturally. The benefit with this quarantine, and it's unfortunate that there are people that are becoming ill and that are passing away. Yeah. But when we look at the positive, because there's always a positive to everything, this helps to slow down the dating process. It slows down people just going from hello to jumping in bed to actually, we need to talk. We got to get to know each other. We're 6 feet away, so we can't be in each other's face. And so that is a good thing. And then learning the process of how to online date and what are the rules to online dating that will give you an advantage to having men actually come to you and pursue you, and being able to determine that if he is who he really says he is while you're meeting people online. So all of these different tricks that we're going to be talking about are going to happen on April the 6th at 6:30.
And if someone wants to be a part of this webinar, how do they sign up?
And so if they want to sign up for the April 6th webinar, they can go to www.yourlovediva.com in order to sign up for the April 6th webinar. Or if they want to join Manifest Love VIP Circle, they can schedule a time to speak to me, and I will do a free coaching session with them, and we can determine if they will qualify to be allowed in the Manifest Love VIP Circle.
Awesome. And I'll make sure that I'll add that information once we get your interview uploaded and all that good stuff, so they'll know how to reach out to you. So thank you so much again. Shay, before we close out, can you just share a final thought or a charge for the audience?
Yes. Okay. So I have 3 things that I want to give to all the beautiful divas that are out there listening to us. Right. The first thing I want to remind you is that you were born worthy of love. You do not need to earn love. Love is readily available to you once you tap into the love that is all around you, and it starts from within. So today, I want you to go and download my free app called Cup of Love, and that app every day is going to push out a notification of affirmations that will keep you in the vibration of attracting love, reminding you that love is all around you, and keep you on the path to focusing on what you want instead of what you don't want. The second thing is, I want you to look in the mirror every morning and every evening. And the number of times of your age, I want you to say, I love you, and say your name. So for instance, Shay, I'm not going to tell you my age, but let's pretend like I'm 29. So 29 years old. You're going to say 29 times, I love you, Shay. I love you, Shay. I love you, Shay. I love you, Shay. And you're going to say it with emotion, with a feeling that comes from your gut. And if you have a hard time saying it and believing that you love yourself, pretend like you're talking to someone you love, or maybe your dog that you love so much. Like pretend like you're talking to that person as you're looking at yourself. And then eventually the feeling will transfer to you, and you'll see that emotional change happening as you're saying it. And then the third thing, I want to encourage you today to choose you, choose yourself. You give to everybody else, but what about yourself? I want you to take the steps today that your future self is going to thank you for, because this journey is not just about attracting a man and ending loneliness. There are so many benefits that come with manifesting love, but the ultimate benefit that I'm bringing to you is becoming and transforming into the greatest version of yourself so that you can live your greatest, most fulfilling life, which all of us deserves to experience.
I love that. So she said, you were born worthy of love. Ladies, you were born worthy of love. The second thing is to look in the mirror and say, I love you. I love you. I love you. And what I like about that is I'm a huge fan of mirror work. That's what I call mirror work, when you look in the mirror and affirm certain things over yourself. And I make that a part of my morning routine every day. So I love the fact that you have the ladies look in the mirror and say, I love you, with passion. And the number of times of whatever your age is, right? So I'll be in the mirror all day. And then the third thing is to choose you. I think that is so important that we learn how to choose ourselves. So choose you, ladies. Shay, thank you so much for being here. I took away a lot of great nuggets to share with my single friends, to share with our audience. I have a notepad full of notes. And so thank you again for being here. I look forward to supporting your initiatives and sharing everything that you're doing.
Thank you, sweetie, so much. It's my pleasure.
I hope that you enjoyed today's episode of Living the Empowered Life with my amazing guest, Shay Levister. It is my heart's desire that you are able to draw some motivation and inspiration from our discussion today as you continue on your journey of living an empowered life. And always remember to love yourself for who you really are, because God created you to be unique, rare, one of a kind, valuable, and precious. So ladies, listen. It's time to discover and live your life purpose. It's time to value yourself. It's time to set goals that are going to move you forward in life. It's time to rebuild your confidence. It's time to fearlessly walk in your authentic power. And ladies, it's time to live the empowered life.